All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Elite Pierre, founder of Favor International. Today is Monday, January 18th. I'm super excited to be able to come before you once again for our personal branding training series. This is part 4 of this series, this webinar series, and we do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So first of all, I want to take a moment out to thank each and every one of you for joining me live every Monday. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything that you do to build and work together and develop to achieve your success. So I just want to do a quick recap, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who missed the previous sessions. Part 1, 4 weeks ago, when I first started these, part 1 was all about discovering your passion, identifying your strengths and your weaknesses. Basically, we focus on strengths that week. Identifying what your strengths are, what's your passion, what do you love to do. If you could do, if like whatever it is that you love to do so much that you could do it every single day for the rest of your life, what is that, right? We all have to discover, before we can start talking about personal branding, we have to talk about what is it that you love to do? What do you want to build your brand around, right? What is it? What is your passion? What are you so passionate about that I could talk about this, I could write about this, I can interview people around this specific topic every single day for the rest of my life. That's what you need to focus on, building your brand around, because understand things are going to get hard. It's not always going to be easy. So understanding that if you build your brand around your passion, if you build your brand around what you love to do, it's always going to bring you joy and you won't stop doing it. My mentor, Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, he says he answers emails daily of people asking, I've been at this for so-and-so time. How do you keep going? How do you not quit? How do you not stop? He said, well, how long have you been doing that again? And they say, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year. And he's like, are you kidding me? This is something that you want to do with your life. Like this is your passion that you're talking about. This is your dream. These are your ambitions, and this is what you want to do with your life. Like this is your reason for being, and you want to give up on it after a few months. Like for real. Like if this is truly your passion, if this is truly your dream, if this is something that you truly love to do, it's too easy to keep going. Once you understand what your purpose is, once you understand what your passion is, it's too easy to push through and keep going. Because it's not always going to be easy, but it's always going to be worth it. So week 1, we talked about discovering your passion. Week 2, I was super excited about week 2, ladies and gentlemen. We actually went into, digging a little bit more deeper on telling your story and how that in today's age, 2016, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to understand, we started this back in 2015. Week 2 was the first time that I actually got to do this in the new year, in 2016. And what people got to understand, we no longer need Hollywood. We no longer need traditional media outlets. We no longer need to get discovered to be able to be a leader in a certain niche, a leader in a certain space. And you're able to tell your story and build your brand around anything that you desire through the platforms of social media, the internet. I mean, a video, imagine this, this video, the right person could see this video, share it, and then all of a sudden, millions of people have seen it. How many views, how many times have you seen a YouTube video or a Facebook video that has over 1 million views on it? And you're looking at it like, how in the world did 1 million people watch this, right? And that's just, an example. Imagine some of the things that, we actually enjoyed watching. Like it was actually worth the time. You wanted to take notes like, man, I got to get this. This is good, right? That can happen with you too. And some of you may have already had viral videos or, a piece of content that people just shared. And next thing you know, it's turning around and you seeing something that you did months ago or years ago on somebody's timeline or on somebody's page, or somebody's telling you something, right? If we haven't got there yet, ladies and gentlemen, I just want y'all to understand the potential of what can possibly happen with this day and age. How much of an opportunity there is for you to tell your story around whatever your story is. And it always starts with like your personal experiences, where you came from, how you were brought up. And that's kind of leading to what we're going to talk about today. But before I go into that, I want to tell you about week 3. Last week, ladies and gentlemen, we had a phenomenal guest on the line. Mr. Akil Bey, I want to give a shout out to you once again. He came on to the Hangout, ladies and gentlemen, and he shared the platform with me. I was able to interview him and ask him questions about what his passion is, right? I was able to ask him, what are his strengths and how did he get to where he is in his business right now. Good information, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but valuable content. Mr. Bey really shed some light on a lot of things. I even had to start taking notes, and I knew I was going to. I had my pen and pad ready. Man, Mr. Bey is going to drop some good nuggets on us today, and that was phenomenal. So I want to thank you again, Mr. Bey. Last week you were a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed any of those previous sessions, hopefully you were registered and you have the replay in your email. Let your people know, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an audience, if you have a following, and you want to start doing this anyway, but as you grow your brand, you're going to grow an audience, you're going to grow a community. Let them know that when they plug into certain things, there's a way to stay plugged in. So, for example, with this webinar series, let's say I can't make it Monday night at 8 o'clock. Let's say I have to work, or let's say I have to take my kids somewhere or whatever. I'm going to be doing something. I'm not going to be able to sit still and give it the attention that it deserves. Okay, just register for the webinar. That way you can get the replay sent to you in your email, and then you can watch it at a more convenient time. But if you don't register because you're not available, then you won't have the replay to watch the replay. I hope that makes sense. Maybe you'll catch it on YouTube later, or maybe you'll be able to, or you'll be able to connect with me and get the content. But always remember, ladies and gentlemen, without proper communication is going to get you what you desire. So, opening your mouth or opening up a text box and saying, hey, so-and-so, I'm not going to be able to make it, but blah, 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 blah. And there's always something that can be worked out. So let's move on to this week, ladies and gentlemen. Week 4 of personal branding training series. I'm excited to share with you. I really don't have a title, right? But this is going to be about discovering, or just kind of discussing why certain people or a lot of people are not going to be successful with building their brand, right? A lot of people are just not going to be successful. That's just the bottom line. This is not for everybody. And most of you may have seen on an intro video on the registration page, at the very end of the video, I say, hey, before we even move on, before you even click register, this is not for everybody. This might not be for you. You may not have what it takes. But I want to dig a little bit more deeper into that, right? What it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen, is your DNA. What are you made of? Well, I want y'all to write that down. Your success is solely dependent on your DNA. How are you made up, right? How do you work? And then it ties right into your strengths and weaknesses and being able to be self-aware of what you're good at and what you're bad at. Over the past few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, I gave you an assignment. If you've been following along, I've given you an assignment. I want you to interview at least 5 people, 5 to 10 people, and sit down with them and tell them straight up, I need an assessment of my strengths and weaknesses. Because sometimes we can't see it. My mentor, Mr. Brian Bean, said, you can't see the picture from inside the frame. I want y'all to write that down. You cannot see the picture from inside the frame. I mean, and I believe that wholeheartedly. It makes too much sense. So if you're looking at this picture, this eagle behind me in my office, that eagle from inside the frame, he's looking out or he's looking to the side. He's not going to be able to see the picture. You can't see the picture from inside the frame, so you have to step outside the frame. You have to be able to, and then, a lot of people who are close to you, they might not be willing to tell you the truth. A lot of people who are close to you, they're a little bit too close to tell you, about yourself. A lot of people, we surround ourselves with people who may not be comfortable with telling us about ourselves, but let them know, give them the clearance ahead of time. Hey, I'm doing this to help become a better person, to become a better me. I need you to be raw and uncut with me. I need you to be real 100 with me. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? What am I good at and what am I bad at? What can I do well and what is it that I don't do so well? Because we need that data, ladies and gentlemen. We got to understand that our DNA is going to dictate if we're going to be successful at anything that we do, if it's in us to begin with. Now, you can learn, you can build skills, you can do personal growth, But understand, and it all starts with your strengths. And I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick. In the world, they kind of talk differently, from a different angle or different point of view than what I'm about to share with you. But when my mentor shared this with me, it clicked and it made a lot of sense, and I really understood how marketing and how branding and how media kind of flips it on their behalf or to their benefit. Watch this. First I'll say that personal development, personal growth is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. I want y'all to recognize that. I want y'all to understand that. Personal growth, personal development is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, meaning that society convinces us that we're not good enough and we need to improve. We need to do better. You need to lose weight. You need to get you need to get better. You need to look better. You need to feel better, right? You need to smell better. You need to work out and get stronger, get bigger, get faster, right? That's what these commercials and that's what society is telling us. Why? Because it sells. It sells. People are able to make a profit, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking it at all. But I want everybody to understand what you already have in you, what you're already good at, what your strengths, the strengths that you already have is good enough to get your brand off the ground. So a lot of people will say, and I've seen this in business, ladies and gentlemen. I see a lot of people, watch this. They spend so much time trying to become better that they never actually get started. They get so tied up in preparing to be in business or preparing to do business or preparing to improve. I'm going to learn all the information. I'm going to do all the research. I'm going to improve myself. But what people don't understand is that you can do that along the way. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. I believe it was Jim Rohn that said that. You don't write this down. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. And understanding that we can utilize what we have right now to get our brand off the ground, to get our brand rocking and rolling. If you're over the age of 18, ladies and gentlemen, you have 18 years of experience in the best time of human history. We're in the age of the internet. Most of you, I don't know the age demographics of the people who follow me. So let me say this. Most of us should recall the time before the pre-internet time, right? Before internet. When AOL, I believe it was about 18 years ago when AOL started getting, 17, maybe 18 years ago when AOL, America Online, just started getting introduced, and they used to send the CDs in the mail. Me and my wife, we were in a room looking at, an old screenshot of AOL in Google Beta in 2006 and 2008, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all got to understand, this is like ages ago. Google Beta. I had a hard time wrapping my head around that. AOL.com. Remember that dial-up internet? Before the internet as we know it now, ladies and gentlemen, it was hard to get your story told. It was hard to get discovered. Look, Martha remembers that. Yes, if as y'all see, if you type in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, I will engage with you. That's part of the lesson, is engagement. We're not going to talk about that today, but engaging with your audience, that's a whole webinar on its own. So yes, if I say something, or if you want to say something, if you want to make a point, type it in the chat. It's probably on this app for y'all. Type it in the chat and I will respond. I will engage with you. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, y'all gotta understand, we are living in the best time of human history to be able to market a brand or develop a brand around your passion, around what you love to do, and monetize it and actually get paid for doing what you love. 15, 20 years ago, it was not as easy. It was possible, but it was not as easy. 25, 30 years ago, our grandparents, Our grandparents did not have the luck. Matter of fact, my dad, he owned his own business my whole life. My dad did not have the luxuries that we have today for brand marketing and for brand advertisement and brand development. We got it good, ladies and gentlemen. We got it real good. And I want y'all to understand, you have it in you. Point blank, period. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to what the media and with the commercial ads and what TV will tell you, we have it in us. All right. So I want y'all to write this down. DNA. Your DNA, your strengths. What are you good at? What are you good at? And then I'm going to tell you about a few platforms that you can actually start telling your story on. All right. Some of you who follow me on Facebook, you may have already seen today I posted a post that had a few of the social media platforms, and it showed an example of how a conversation about a donut may sound on each of those platforms. So understanding, like, no matter what you do or where you are or what you're doing, you're still you. You're still, you don't change. However, the context of the situation may change how you present yourself. So for example, some of you out there may not be ready to get in front of a camera and do a presentation like I'm doing today, right? Some of you may not be ready for that. However, some of you may be good writers, or you may have the best voice, known to man. You might speak so well and you have the best presentation voice, but it's like, hey, I'm not getting in front of the camera. So you can record audios and you can have a podcast. And the way podcasts are becoming so popular these days, you can actually build your brand around that, or you can use that medium to build your brand, right? Again, if you're a writer, there's blogs, Facebook, right? Blogger.com, Medium.com. These are different platforms that you can use, but they're all different. And we have to know and understand these different platforms. And most importantly, we have to respect them. Just like I won't wear this t-shirt and sweatpants. I won't wear this to work. I wear this in my home where I'm comfortable. I might not wear, a suit to the gym. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wear gym clothes to the gym. I'm not gonna put on a 3-piece suit to go work out. Context is gonna dictate how I'm gonna present myself. Same thing goes with Instagram and Facebook. One of my pet peeves is I see people share their Instagram content directly to Facebook with no adjustments, no changes. And you got to understand the language, the context of the communication is different on Instagram than it is on Facebook. For example, Facebook, you can write in long form. You can write a long, multiple paragraph, and then somebody has to click more to read more. But guess what? Because it's possible, if the content is good, people will want to read more. They will click more. I click more a lot, right? I click to read more a lot. So if you have something to say on Facebook, and you can write in long form. Instagram, you can't really write in long form. People are there to see pictures. Ain't nobody reading on Instagram all like that. They might read the comments or whatever, or they, but Instagram will hide most of the comments. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Instagram will hide most of the comments because Instagram is a visual platform. So you can't speak the same language on both platforms. You have to respect the platform and what it's used for. Hashtags. I want y'all to write that down. Like the number sign. Hashtags are used on Instagram for discovery. If you're not using hashtags in your Instagram, you're delaying your discovery. You're basically sabotaging your discovery on Instagram if you're writing long form. Good point. Thank you. If you're writing long form like it's Facebook, right? Twitter is only 140 characters. So understand that you definitely can't write long form on Twitter because it's going to cut you off. You're not going to be able to publish it. But you can write long form on Instagram. It will allow you, but I'm just saying that you shouldn't. Your focus should be more on the actual photo. It's going to be a little bit more zoomed in. It might actually be, highlighted some other way. It's different, ladies and gentlemen. That's the point that I'm making. It's different. It is different. It is different, and we gotta respect that. We gotta respect that. All right. What else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the fact that we're again leaning on your strengths. What are you good at? Are you already familiar with Instagram? If you're not, then you shouldn't be spending 90% of your time trying to learn Instagram. That's going to come over time. If you're already good at Facebook, then why not dig deep into branding yourself on Facebook, because that's a platform, you know, you're already kind of familiar with because you've been posting on there for years. You know, you just got on Twitter last week, or you just got on Snapchat last week because Elite Pierre asked you to and said, follow me at ELITEPIE, right? You might just be brand new to this platform. So do not spend 80, 90, 100% of your time trying to learn that platform and then missing out on what you're already good at. That's the point that I'm making. What's already in you, we have to like dive head first, because again, we already discovered our passion. We already kind of identified some of our strengths and some of our weaknesses. 80-20 rule is what I want y'all to write down. The 80/20 rule. That's 80. Let me write that in the chat. 80-20 rule. What do I mean by this? What do you mean by this, Mr. Pierre? 80% of your time, 80% of your money, 80% of your effort needs to be put towards things that you're already good at. Again, this is contrary to most trainings. This is contrary to popular belief, because they say, hey, you're supposed to get out here and get out your comfort zone. I got that. I got that. But what a lot of people do, they focus so hard on getting out their comfort zone, is that they neglect things that they're already good at, things that they could already be using to leverage and build momentum. And then you slowly learn Instagram, you slowly learn Snapchat, but make your grand opening of your brand where you're already familiar with. And then let's introduce video content. And then let's introduce how to do a podcast. I hope that makes sense to everybody. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm saying is, if again, let's say you're brand new to everything. Well, I haven't done, Mr. Pierre, I haven't done any of this. I really don't know where to start. That's okay. Just keep plugging into this training, because I'm going to go more deeper into action steps that you can take. And I'm also going to give you a chance to work with me one-on-one, those of you who haven't taken advantage of that already. All right. Most of you have already taken advantage of working with me one-on-one. This training right here is broad training. This is for everybody. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to work with me one-on-one, where we can actually talk about your brand. We can talk about your passion. We can talk about developing your logo, developing your your elevator pitch, how to develop your website, what to go about to do your marketing, who's your target audience, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And I'm going to share that with you shortly. I see you, Martha. Yes, yes. All right, so I'm going to share that with you shortly. But one point that I want to make, one final point I want to make in closing, the 80-20 rule is definitely an effective tool to really get things moving. 80% of your time, and again, I said money too, because let me tell y'all this right now. Facebook advertising has the largest return on investment. I like to call that ROI. So I want y'all to write down ROI, and then return on investment is what ROI stands for. Because I say that a lot, and I want y'all to understand, when I say ROI, I don't want anybody to be like, well, what does that mean? Okay, so Facebook has the largest ROI known to advertising right now, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But the way that Facebook allows us to target a specific audience is remarkable. It's remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else. It's like Google AdWords back in the early 2000s. It's like banner ads, back in the day. It's like billboards and commercials back in the day, is what Facebook targetings right now. And you know, those examples I just gave you wasn't really all that good back in the day. It was good for its time. Right now, I don't know how many people actually look at billboards. I know I don't. When I'm riding in the passenger seat, I'm usually like this. And sometimes I'm like that when I'm driving. So I got some improvement to do. I'm not perfect. My wife gets on me all the time. Put the phone down. You know, stop trying to read and drive at the same time. Bad habits are hard to break. But we're human. We are human, ladies and gentlemen. I'm transparent. I'm very transparent. So what I want y'all to understand is learn how to do Facebook ads. I want y'all to use, this is a homework assignment. Write this down. Go to YouTube and search Facebook advertising and also search Facebook dark post. That's DARKPOST. I'm gonna write that in the chat. Facebook dark post. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this changed the game for me. This changed the game for me. Learning how to target a specific audience, for example, and I hope I'm not like regurgitating some stuff that I said in a previous training, because sometimes I forget what I said before and I repeat myself. But you know, when I used to teach, one of my instructors who was instructing me told me, if you find yourself saying it more than once, it must be pretty important, right? So if I'm saying this over again, maybe you didn't catch it, maybe you didn't take it as seriously as I hoped you would, but this is important, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook dark post, being able to target a specific audience. For example, I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, so I want to market within a 50-mile radius of Columbia, South Carolina. So I'll type in there USA usually the default if that's where you're from. I'll type in Columbia, South Carolina as the location. It'll narrow my range around to a 50-mile radius. You know, I can extend it or reduce it around Columbia, South Carolina. Then I want to talk to males, females, or both. Let's just say I want to reach females, like females ages 20 to 25, right? Females ages 20 to 25 who live in Columbia, South Carolina, or within a 50-mile radius, right? And let's say I want to only reach people who are Android users and not iPhone users. I can specify that. People who are into fashion, people who are into marketing, people who make over $60,000 a year, people who own their own home, people who are single mothers. And I can target specifically these people so that when I run ads, only these 20 to 25-year-old single parents single women who make over $60,000 a year and own their home will see it. Yeah, do y'all understand how powerful that is? And I'm only paying when they see my post. This is powerful, ladies and gentlemen, because that's my audience. That's my audience. That's who I'm advertising to. That's who I want to see my content. That's who I'm willing to pay to see my content. These are the people who's going to click my content, visit my website, and the chances of them communicating, engaging with me, and maybe even buying from me if I have anything to sell. But maybe I'm just, I'm just building a personal brand, and I want people to know about me, Elite Pierre, and what I do. You know, I just want people I just want to raise awareness about my brand. We'll sell stuff in 2018, but for now, we're just building a brand and we're establishing a foundation and building relationships with people so we can have a community of people that maybe we can market to later on. But we just want to get into a certain space right now. I'm just giving y'all some thoughts, some examples of what you can do. This is how you can identify and grow a fan page with a community of people who are interested in what you're interested in. So one day when you're ready, you can start branding yourself. That's why Facebook is free, and it always will be, because people like you and I who want to build a brand, we have billions of users who are telling Facebook exactly what they want, purposely, they're not even, most of us, we're not even intentionally telling Facebook what we want. Facebook watches your actions on Facebook. It watches the pages that you like. It watches the pages that you interact with. It watches the people who you interact with and what they like. It watches what you do on the internet, because 9 times out of 10, each and every one of you watching this webinar right now have searched something on Google, went to something that you wanted to get. Maybe you bought it, maybe you didn't. But when you went to Facebook that next day or even that same day, Facebook ran an advertisement to you for that same thing you was just looking on the internet for. Don't raise your hand. I already know it happens because it happens to me. When I bought my Tahoe, for weeks, Facebook ran me ads about Chevy Tahoes. Even the year that I bought, ladies and gentlemen, they even ran advertisements for the year of Tahoe that I purchased because I was searching for it. I knew what I wanted, and now so did Facebook because I told the internet. I need y'all to get this. 2016 is going to be phenomenal for everybody as long as you put this into execution, right? I just gave you like a wild example of the targeting criteria, but anything you can imagine, if you can imagine it, right? Facebook can target or help you target that audience. But again, we got to know who your audience is. We got to know who is interested or who you're trying to reach. That's a big thing too. What platform you're going to use, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Periscope. We got to know. Wow, that's crazy. It absolutely is. We got to know where your audience is. Is your audience on Instagram? Is your audience, or maybe not even your audience right now, but y'all got to understand, and this is what I'm going to close with. This is why I'm so passionate about Snapchat. Snapchat demographics is 35 and under. That's what the recorded demographics of the majority of users on Snapchat right now. And it's aging up. Technology ages up while humans age down. I want y'all to write this down. Technology ages up while humans age down. So what's happening right now, Snapchat is 5 years old. It was established in 2011. What's happening right now, technology is aging up. Even though I'm 35 years old, so I must be on the borderline of being on Snapchat. I've been on Snapchat since early 2015, but I really started getting serious and really started getting active this year, like this month. Y'all gotta understand. Maybe last month I started getting kind of active, but I'm really promoting Snapchat hard right now, especially for marketers, especially for business owners. Why? Because this is where the attention is. Ages 35 and under, people are on Snapchat, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to an event, people are snapping that event. They're snapping. No matter what you're doing, no matter what space you're in, no matter what your niche is, the demographics, the younger demographics is what you want. It's what you want. The people coming out of college, the people going into college. These are the people that you want. And again, technology is going to age down. Think about 10 years ago, how many of you said I would never get a cell phone? Think of, and I'm a primary example of this. For like years, I wouldn't text. Like, don't text me, call me. I hate texting. You know, my wife would tell you, I hated texting. Now, I would rather you text me before you call me. Ooh, don't call me. Don't just call. I might be in a webinar. I might be in a meeting. I might be watching a movie with my wife. I might be spending time with my kids. You don't know what I'm doing. So at least, because I value time, at least give me the common courtesy and respect to text me first and say, hey, Lee, is this a good time to call? And then call. Hey y'all, sometimes if my mom watches this, and sometimes she be watching my stuff, she'll get mad if she ever hears this. I'll take it. Sometimes I get mad when my mom calls me without texting first. Because I might be doing something. This is 2016, people. This is how much people value time. So y'all gotta understand, I was the person who hated texting. I will never text. Don't text me. Now I would rather you text me before you call me. Things change. Technology ages up while humans age down. Smiley faces, hashtags, emoticons, or however you say it, emoticons, all that stuff was for the younger ages, right? It was for the teenagers. Now we got grandmas texting smiley faces and hashtags and emoticons. You know, piles of poop with two little boobly eyes on it. It ages up, ladies and gentlemen. Technology ages up, and then people age down. So I want y'all to really, really, really get active on Snapchat. And that's why. That's why you want to be in that space as the transition happens. Start learning it. Like I said, 80-20. I'm not asking you to get on there and spend all your time learning it, right? Don't go on there and spend all your time learning it unless you're established. If you're established, then you get, you can do that. But in the building phase, in the branding phase, 80% on something that you're good at, 20% in something that you need to like develop and learn. I want y'all over this next week, get an active account on Snapchat. Start taking pictures and making quick videos on Snapchat. Follow a few people, watch their content, engage with them, go into their chat and send them a, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to connect with you. Thank you for following me. Right now, because the user count, you know what I mean, you won't have like millions of followers. You can actually do that with like every single one of your followers right now. Do the same thing on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, start engaging with people. Twitter is a listening platform. Start engaging with people who are talking about your brand. Not your brand specifically, but what you're building a brand around. So if you are the subject matter expert in ballpoint pens, I love ballpoint pens. I never write with pencils. I just got a thing for ballpoint pens. And you just love talking about ballpoint pens, go to Twitter, go to search.twitter.com, type in the search bar ballpoint pens, and you're going to find 90 million or 90,000 people trying to sell you a pen. However, you're going to find few far and in between, a few people are just going to be talking about their experiences with pens or asking about what's the best pen to use. Or asking, I'm just giving y'all an example. It may be pillows, it might be beer, it might be anything. It might be MacBook computers, it might be MacBooks, it might be iMacs, it might be books, right? Who are you reading right now? Tony Robbins or John Maxwell? See what I'm saying? Your brand might be based around personal development. I just love reading and doing personal development. I'm going to build a brand around personal development. Anything's possible, ladies and gentlemen. The sky's the limit. So I want y'all to like really be open-minded in what it is that you love and really like dig deep. Go all in on what it is that you truly love. All right. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I said this before, in closing, I just want to give y'all a quick offer to get a 30-minute free coaching session with me, Elite Pierre. I just popped it up in the offer box on a SAP panel. You will get enormous value from a one-on-one training session or coaching session. We can take your brand to the next level. We can actually talk about what your specific passion is, what your specific strengths and weaknesses are. We can talk about logo design. We could talk about website design. We could talk about, we will talk about identifying your audience. Who's your audience exactly? Who are you trying to reach? What platform that you should publish your content in? What are your strengths and how's the easiest way to start getting you to publish content, right? Because you might start off with just making photos. Like, I'm not ready to talk, Elite. I'm not ready to make no videos. Can we just like take some pictures and write on top of the pictures? Can we start there? Absolutely. We can start anywhere. Again, you don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. We can start with pictures and text. And we're going to publish that content and we're going to start creating your community. All right, so click that, sign up now, just fill up your information in the website that comes up. Don't go anywhere yet because I'm gonna let y'all register for next week's webinar. I want you to register for next week's webinar before you get out of here. So, I already got the registration page set up for next week. If you want a one-on-one coaching session and you haven't already taken advantage of that, please click the sign up now. Again, it might be on this side for y'all. Click the sign up now and you will be able to actually get a one-on-one coaching session with me. All right, I'm about to take that away. So if you're not able to take advantage of that right now, all you got to do is just go to my website, favoredinternational.com. favoredintl.com. I'm gonna put that in the chat box as well. www.favoredinternational.com. Hope I did that right. All right, cool. All right, so if you're not able to click that right now, or if you ran out of time, or if you missed it, just go to favoriteinternational.com. You'll see that same picture, 30-minute session. Click that and request for us to contact you. Either me or somebody from our office will contact you and schedule an appointment for a 30-minute session. All right, and last but not least, personal branding part 5 is going to be next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I want y'all to get registered now. Don't forget to opt into the auto register for all the webinars. I also do a webinar on Tuesdays that is specifically for networkers. So if you're a networker and you want to learn more about creating a system that your organization can duplicate, this is specifically for networkers. Definitely auto register for all my webinars so you don't miss any of my webinars, but you can also get access to that and more information about that on my website, favoriteinternational.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is all free stuff. So, take advantage of it. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. I appreciate y'all plugging in and staying connected. Again, www.favoredintl.com. I got to remember that this is going to be a podcast, so I got to say everything too instead of just popping it in the box. You can get all this information that I'm popping in the webinar screen on my website. All right, so if you're listening to the podcast, days after this live webinar, you can still go to my website and get access to the personal branding, one-on-one coaching session, or if you want to get into the webinar for the networkers. All right, I'm not going to go into it. That's not what this is for. If you want more information, visit my website. Go to the registration page, and it'll tell you all you need to know about what that training is all about. So again, invite people to this. Do me this favor. If you can give me the greatest compliment ever in history, if I'm providing any value, if you're getting any value out of these webinar trainings, if you're getting any value from my website, if you're getting any value from me as a brand, please share. Please invite somebody else to register to the webinar. If you have an organization, pass it out to your organization and say, hey, Mr. Pierre, he's doing great things. We want to support this young man. Please register for his webinar and attend. It may or may not be for you, but I appreciate it. He asked me to share it. So I really do appreciate y'all support. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your desire for more information and growth. And again, like I always say, this helps me too. Me doing this training really helps me as well. So I appreciate you for helping me. All right. So that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Wish y'all a good night. Wish y'all a good week. And I'll see you next week on the next webinar. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.